So by upgrading your tools, you actually put the points into the tome, and it upgrades the tome and allows you to do more upgrades.
Okay, cool.
Now for right now, we've used a good amount of stuff, but we need more force ingots. So I've got a little bit of stuff here. Dan, would you mind putting that piece of coal inside that Stirling engine there and flipping it on?
I would not.
You know what's happening though? This here, come over here. This force infuser is actually taking most of the Minecraft jewels it's being given because these things I actually hooked them up with pipes, right? And this thing wants to fill itself up before it stops requesting energy.
Well, ain't that not too cool?
Well, it's all right, but also the squeezer is also going, making more liquid force out of the gems that are in there. So it's just that we don't have a lot of buildcraft energy for this stuff right now. We'll have to make ourselves a buildcraft area later.
So you just put in the squeezer, you just put your force gem into this crafting grid over here, right?
Yeah, the squeezer, it's just a shapeless recipe basically. You just turn one force gem into 1.5 buckets of liquid force.
Okay.
And later we may want to store this in a railcraft tank just to be cool. You know, Dan, I've got something else to show you while that goes. Let's go do that.
Alright.
Now, there's some really cool, unique enchants that you can actually use right out of the box. Now, that lumberjack enchant, that's a tier 1, so as soon as you make the force infuser and the force tome, you can use it right away if you make it axe. All you have to do is put a piece of wood on that in the force infuser to upgrade. And that is how I got that axe.
Okay.
Now, the only reason that thing actually chops down trees in a nice line like that is because it has the lumberjack upgrade. Otherwise, it would just be a normal axe. Now, the speed on it is actually just something you can put on any of the tools, and it just makes it work faster. And speed is an upgrade you actually get from sugar.
I can see that. Sugar makes me hyper.
Now, you may have noticed that shears were actually one of the tools that you can make an upgrade.
I saw that, but in any eye, because it had heat on it, it was weird. Like, why would you put heat on shears?
Yeah, you can put heat on shears if you want. I'm not sure what it'll do, but you know, it doesn't sound too useful. But you know what is kind of cool? You can use these, just regular shears. I got a piece of wool from that sheep. Thank you very much, sheep. But you see, I upgraded these force shears actually with force, which I got from a force ingot. Now, if you're confused about which upgrades give what, if you noticed, anytime you are in the interface of the force infuser, and you mouse over anything, it actually tells you, as a second tooltip in yellow, what the upgrade it gives. And you could look through any eye and look, try to look for the mouse overs, and then just, see what upgrades come from those. So you don't have to guess. You're like, oh, I wonder what does what.
Cool.
Now, you see these shears, right? These force shears? Come here. Look at these shears. I just gave you those, so why don't you select them? Now, once you select those, now these force shears, I upgraded them with force. Now, they can actually do something very interesting that normal shears can't. And it's a little harmful to the animal, but, you can extract some things that maybe you couldn't extract normally. So why don't you try those out on these chickens?
Shears on a chicken. I don't know about this.
Just get in the thing first. Oh, you see, what'd you do? What'd you do to my chicken?
Oh my god, I just sheared a frickin' chicken.
What? What are you doing? Dad, you better not do that to each one of my chickens.
This is awesome. I'm shearing chicken.
What are you doing to my chickens? You're freaking them out, too. They're dropping eggs every time you do that to them, too. You're scaring the crap out of them. And you're getting feathers for your troubles.
Actually scaring the egg out of them.
What? Hey, this one just turned back.
Ooh, can you do that to cows?
Why would you be able to do that to cows? That is sick. Don't you dare right-click a cow right now with those. What did you... No!
Yeah.
Dan, what are you doing to my cows? Ooh, leather.
Oh. That's sick. Horrible. That's not even right. I'm taking their skin.
You're ripping the leather off of their backs. Oh, wait, this one just went back. Dude, he turned back. He ate a piece of grass and he turned back.
Oh, good.
Oh, look, yeah, they're reverting. Apparently what they do is these animals that you're violently shearing the skin from their backs are mystically eating grass and just growing back their skin.
That's freaking awesome.
You know, ethics aside, this is a really nice way to get leather and feathers.
Yeah. So let Peter see this video.
Hey, they seem to be making different sounds, too. They're angrier sounding.
I'd be angry too if somebody's ripping the skin off of my back.
I love how they run away when you shear them.
I just want to let you know that that's but awesome.
Okay, this feature that I have never told anyone about, even you, which you just legitimately found out right here, I actually had in my Minecraft 125 Let's Play, but there were no animals around to use it on. This is the one feature that actually prompted me to make this entire mod. I was like, I need to be able to shear cows and get leather. Actually, Dan, why don't you, alright, let's look up in NEI. Why don't you look up cow in NEI?
Alright.
Alright, because I actually add spawn eggs for these things.
Spawn cold cow.
He's cold because you took his skin. There's also one for chickens. So this is, you know, friendly because they'll grow their stuff back. So, you know, instead of having to kill a bunch of cows, all you have to do is, I need their leather, I need these feathers. Just come here with basically industrial pliers and just rip their skin off, and they'll be fine later.
Well, at least they're fine. That's all I'm worried about.
And believe you me, there are more upgrades to these shears.
I feel oddly sad but happy that I can rip the skin off of cows now.
If you think about it, you're doing them a favor, because at least they're staying alive.
That's an odd way to put a spin on things.
Well, normally you kill them. This way you just torture them.
You gotta use refined iron to do that too.
Well, if you use refined iron in here, it's the most efficient. I mean, the most efficient way to make force ingots is to use refined iron in the carpenter. And if you're wondering, you absolutely have to use liquid force to make these. You can't use, like, water or anything else. Now, let's see here. I showed you the axe, I showed you the shears. I happen to have a force pick on me that has no enchantments on it whatsoever. Now, this force pick, when it starts out, can break anything that a diamond pick can break, actually, at the speed of an iron pickaxe. So this thing can go at obsidian super slowly. Unless, of course, you throw some speed upgrades on it, in which case it can go at it crazy fast. Now, here's an interesting function. Take this piece of flint and open that infuser inventory, and tell me what it says in the tooltip.
Grinding?
But what else does it say?
Tier 3?
Well, yeah, that means that this tome is tier 2, and it's not high enough level to use that yet. So whatever that does, we can't use it yet, until we get to tier 3, which we're almost at.
Oh.
Now at tier 2, what could I put on this pickaxe? I could put speed 3 on this. What else do you think would be useful to put on a pickaxe, Dan? What do you like?
I really like to have fortune.
You know what? I think we could do that. Here, Dan, I want to show you something a little more fundamental about my mod. I just threw you 5 string, and open up your clipboard, and now take the string and put one piece in each of the corners, and then put the last piece in the very center.
Cobweb.
You can now make cobwebs. Now you can plant these suckers down and impede people for fun, or you can actually use these to upgrade tools. Now, what kind of upgrade do you think the cobweb would add?
I don't know. Slowness?
Alright, well, let's go look at it in the force infuser.
Touch.
Yeah, if we wanted to, we could add silk touch to any tool by using cobwebs, which we can now craft. Or, that's cool, but we kind of know what that does. I'm going to throw in a new unique enchant on here.
I like how I can see what you're doing inside the force infuser.
Yeah, incidentally, it actually takes no additional programming to do that, because it's just part of how Minecraft works now. It would actually be more difficult for me to make it so that only one user can use it. But I thought this was appropriate. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to throw a piece of coal in here, right? You see that? Piece of coal and 2 sugar. Alright, now I'm going to click go, and you notice this is taking a bit longer than some of the other ones, because it adds together everything and it takes the resources. Now look at this. Heat pickaxe speed 2.
Can I grab it?
You go ahead and grab that. Now break some of this cobblestone with that pick, why don't you?
Oh my god.
Now you see what it did is it smelted the drop. I just noticed a bug. It actually didn't show me the little effects, but that's fine. I'll fix it later. So let me see that pick so I can have that on my... So it actually has cool effects here, which I need to sync on the server. But that's really cool. I like that.
That is pretty sweet. I like it too. I like everything about it.
Alright, here's some clay blocks, but unfortunately, if I go at this with the heat pick, it'll still only drop the clay. Now if I make a force shovel, throw some upgrades on that sucker, which this is taking a while because there's a lot of stuff. I can actually take my heat shovel and smelt up some bricks. And now if we come in here, bricks actually have the upgrade of sturdy. Now sturdy will give 1 level of the vanilla enchant unbreaking on any tool you put this on.
Ooh, we're tier 3 now.
We are tier 3. Do you still have your force pack, Dan?
I do.
You can probably upgrade that now.
Ooh, need to make a chest.
So you have the clipboard in your hands, holding it at a weird angle, but okay.
Yes. 2 seconds and I've got a chest. Awesome.
Now I see you're going to upgrade your bag of awesomeness, and there it goes. 24 slots.
Oh, nice.
I'm actually going to upgrade mine too.
I've got a chest if you want it. Or do you already have one?
I had a chest and a chest over there. Just chestception there. Okay, 24 slots. Nice. Now, if you're wondering, these can go all the way up to 40 slots, which means we can upgrade them 2 more times. But there is something even nicer we can do once this gets to tier 5. Anyway, if you see Ender Pearl, it says Ender tier 5, which means we can start adding an upgrade called Ender to things at tier 5. I can tell you point-wise, that's actually a while ago. But what you could do is you can upgrade a force pack to an Ender pack.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
But the Ender pack only has 1 inventory because guess what, Dan? It goes to your vanilla Ender chest.
Oh. Packception.
Packception. Which, incidentally, I was going to call a mod, but then I realized that's really dumb. Now, we want you to make your own force pickaxe, Dan.
Yeah.
There are 3 force ingots. Please make yourself a force pick. Now, I just made some vanilla cookies, Dan, right? Do you know what I'm going to make with these?
I do not.
Fortune cookies! Ta-da!
I like fortune cookies.
Well, I just tossed you some. Go ahead and eat one.
My health is full.
Irrelevant. There's always room for fortune cookie. Now, that added to your inventory a fortune, which you have. If you right-click it, you see the capital of the Ukraine is Kiev. Or something.
Mine says please recycle.
So Dan, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put that in the force infuser, and it's going to have something on it called luck.
That's kind of ominous and vague. There's good luck and there's bad luck.
I'm going to eat one more. Welcome to Hoarders, Minecraft Edition. Alright, now we've got a total of 3 in here, and I'm going to put this flint in. And why don't you go ahead and upgrade your pick, Dan?
Oh, it's going. It's going. So excited to see what this is.
Now, fortune and grinding are kind of expensive ones. They each take more liquid force and more Minecraft jewels. You can see that thing is depleting pretty quickly.
Grinding and Fortune 3?
Grinding and Fortune 3. Fortune 3, Dan? Just what you think it is. That's vanilla. So if you should happen across diamonds or redstone or coal, you go right at it with that pick. But grinding? What the crap is grinding? Well, here, Dan, I've got some iron ore. Why don't you go ahead and break this? Just go ahead and break those iron ores.
Alright, if you insist. Oh dear, it macerates.
It will give you the macerator recipe output of the block you break.
That's cool.
Meaning now, if you don't have a macerator yet, which we don't, we can now just manually break all the iron ore and other things and get the macerator's version of that. So that's great, because we kind of need that.
Will that work with cobblestone and turn it into sand?
It will. It will macerate anything that is a block form that you break with that pick. But yeah, we definitely, I have a ton of stuff that needs macerated. So if you want to just pickaxe it up, that's great.
How come nobody thought about this before?
I have no idea. I really have no clue. Now, this entire thing is only enabled if you enable the DartCraft 2 integration in the config file, which is enabled by default, but it is disableable if you wish. The same thing goes for forestry, actually. My mod has a lot of config options, and you can mess with them if you want. Now, Dan, that's pretty sweet, right? But what would be better than automatically macerating all the stuff you drops?
Automatically macerating and smelting?
Yeah, that would be better, but that would also be pretty cheap.
I guess you're right.
Now, however cheap it may be, I have made another pickaxe. It's a heat axe with grinding on it. This one macerates and smelts.
It just macerated and made glass.
Yeah, it macerated the sand, and it cooked the sand into glass, and you got glass out of cobblestone. I should warn you, though, it does take extra durability to do these functions. And I don't want glass right there. Dan, we're almost to Tier 4. At Tier 4, Dan, there is a tool that you will absolutely love. Now, one thing I did not mention yet, for the calculation of these force points, each tier actually has a point value, and the higher the tier of the object, the more points that object will give. I don't think I remember the exact values, but you also get 25 bonus points the first time you do any particular type of upgrade. So to get your first several tiers, what you want to do is go through the list of tools and get unique upgrades for each of those. Never startle a ninja. Also, force gems do drop additional if you have fortune. So if you see force gems, make sure to fortune them up. Actually, power ore is what it's called, but it's kind of hard to miss. It's going to be the thing that you don't know what it is and it glows. Now, I am going to make another pair of shears here, Dan. But you want to see these shears I just made, Dan? I think you'll want to try these out.
Are those able to rip the flesh off of things, too?
They are not. I did not put force on them. They will only work on sheep. You could put them force on them, I forgot to. But I also put luck on those. Yes, they're also heat shears. Let's come over here to these sheep. But you know what? Let me breed a few first.
I don't know if I like the fact that I'm going to be using heat shears on a sheep.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Oh, there it goes. Good lord, you set him on fire. He's running.
I'm setting them on fire.
Oh my god, look, Dan, look what it dropped. Okay, so Dan's lagging crap, but basically, right-click a sheep, sets the darn thing on fire. Heat shears, you little jerk. But I assure you, if you use these shears on a sheep a second time, they will die. They will burn to death. If you actually want their meat, this is a nice shortcut. Oh no, what happened? Your pick broke. What is that in your hand?
It's the force shard.
Force shard? That is so cool. What do you do with those? Wait, why am I asking you? Why aren't you asking me?
What do I do with it? I can't hit you with it.
No, those are little bonuses you get every time you break a force tool, and they're just for free, and guess what? To be continued. Dan, what are you doing to my cows? Ooh, leather.